Well, we're live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Talking Songs again with me, Rowland Jones. What can I say? Well, it's been an exciting. It's my wedding anniversary today. We've been married 14 years, so that's. But I have to say, I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody. We've had over 200 people sending us congratulations today. It's really, really lovely. So loads of people from the music in Manchester, loads of people from Italy, quite a few from the States, and yeah, it's really quite. I couldn't believe, because I went out for a walk this morning at 8 o'clock, and there were already over 100 people who'd actually said congratulations. So it's quite touching, to be honest. It's quite a nice feeling. So I shall drink to that. Glass of water today, you know. What else have I got to report? We've got some more people lined up to appear on the show. Next week we've got Robert Vincent and then Stuart Earle, but another couple of people who weren't on the list last week. Andy Adams is going to come in during September. Lovely guitar player, great songwriter, and he'll be here with Molly. During lockdown, he and Molly, his partner, have been doing a lot of writing, so that'll be quite interesting. Then we've got Harry Stafford coming in the week after. Now, Harry Stafford is a keyboard player and a writer of quirky songs, and great performer, so that'll be fun. So we're looking good. And also, George Borowski said he's going to come in as well, the lovely George. Great guitar player, good songwriter. So we're doing well here. I'm very, very pleased with the response I've got from people. So I'm going to kick off tonight before we bring Gideon into the studio, as they say. And I'm going to start off with a song. Seeing it's my anniversary, this is a song that's one of my wife's favourites, and this is called Squeeze Me Right. We've had some bad times. Most of all, it's been good. Sometimes I get nervous, like I know you would. All you gotta do, baby, is hold me and squeeze me right. Early in the morning or in broad daylight, in the cold, cold winter or the heat of a summer's night. All you gotta do, baby, is hold me and squeeze me right. If I see that worried look appear upon your face, you know I won't let you down. I'll take you and hold you in my warm and loving arms, and I'll turn your world right upside down. It's a solution to every problem, the answer to every prayer. When your lover's feeling lonely, you just gotta let him know you're there. All you gotta do, people, is hold him and squeeze him right. Nobody is perfect, least of all me and you. That's why I wrote this song, so you know just what to do. All you gotta do, baby, is hold me and squeeze me right. Now promises get broken, truth turning into lies. Open up your heart to me and I will open up your eyes. All you gotta do, baby, is squeeze me if I see that worried look appear upon your face, you know I won't let you down. I'll take you and hold you in my warm and loving arms, and I'll turn your world right upside down. It's a solution to every problem, the answer to every prayer. If your lover's feeling lonely, you just gotta let him know you're there. All you gotta do, baby, is hold him and squeeze him. I said all you gotta do, people, is hold him and squeeze him. All you gotta do, people, is hold them and squeeze them right. That one's for you, Leslie. And so now I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Gideon Conn. Now, those of you who don't know Gideon is a great songwriter. Where he gets his ideas from, I hope he's going to explain a bit of this to me, because I think they are just so beautifully quirky. It's a very British sort of quirkiness, which I quite like, I have to say. But he's also an amazing artist, and those of you who've ever worked with him, you'll find that at the end of your set, he'll come over and say, "Oh look, I've just done this picture of you," and that was my first meeting with Gideon at a wedding about 2 years ago, and I came off and he said, "Oh, I've got this for you," and handed me this drawing, which was lovely. So, without further ado, as they say, we shall introduce Mr. Gideon Conn.
Hello, Rowland.
How are you doing,
Hello, viewers. Yes, I was trying to work out where I'd met you, and I traced it back to the wedding in Leicester. It was really good, wasn't it?
Yep.
It was a wet
day,
day, which really meant that everyone was crammed into the marquee for our performances, which probably worked out nicely for us. And I think the atmosphere was fantastic.
Yeah, it did for us.
That's really makes the difference with a wedding party.
Oh gosh, yes, yeah, it was quite spectacular. So, Gideon, when we were doing the sound check earlier on, you started a song which started with a line about "in the diner with Susan Vega," as I recollect.
I did a little State of the Nation preview. That's called State of the Nation, written around 2004, I think.
Right.
In the bathroom, mostly.
What was it? What was the spark that set it off?
It was definitely one of those where you just get the first line, and then it just sort of flows from there. Which is breakfast in the diner, went to lunch with Suzanne Vega, and it had this melody that was you'll hear it momentarily, and it reminded me of Suzanne Vega's Tom's Diner, and that was the spark for the song, and then after that I just went wherever it took me.
Excellent. Well, let's all hear it. It's brilliant. Over to you, mate. Thank you.
1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Breakfast in the diner, went to lunch with Suzanne Vega, had Mexican enchiladas and a jug of margarita. Over at the next table were Betty Ford and Clark Gable. They were deep in conversation about the state of the nation. Bo-dick-a-pap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-dick-a-pap-a-go-do, 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 bo-dick-a-pap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-dick-a-pap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-dick-a-pap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-dick-a-pap-a-go. Where were you at 9/11? I was at my ex-girlfriend's wedding. Over drinks at the reception, we crowded round the television. When the groom's mother switched it over to Big Brother, I had a drunken conversation about the state of the nation. Bo-dick-a-pap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-dick-a-pap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-dick-a-pap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-dick-a-pap-a-go-do. bo ticka bap go do bo 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 ticka bap go do bo 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 ticka bap go do bo bo ticka bap go do. Each to their own potato, said the steam train operator. But the closure of this line is contributing to this country's decline. Can't you see that diesel engines are made with evil intentions? So continued his oration about the state of the nation. Bo-ticka-bap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-ticka-bap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-ticka-bap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-ticka-bap-a-go. I got a phone call just this morning asking did I need a mortgage. I said, how's the weather there in Bombay? He said, actually, I'm in Calcutta. Thank you very much. If I want you, I'll be in touch. But I have very little patience for cold calls from corporations. Bo-ticka-bap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-ticka-bap-a-go-do, bo-bo-bo-ticka-bap-a-go-do, bo-bo-ticka-bap-a-go-do. My life gone changing every day. Your life gone change and change away. My life gone changing every day. Your life gone change and change away. Whether it's raining or it's finer, you can count on Aaron Kleiner.
Brilliant. Absolutely startling. Absolutely startling. I love it, man. Love it. Now, was this story about the wedding? Is that true?
No, it's all nonsense. Really hard nonsense.
Oh, I was just hoping, just visions of you. How long have you been writing?
Oh, gosh. I think I wrote my first proper song. My first full song was 1996.
Right.
And then it took me a while to get into the flow. Around 2003, 4, 5 were very prolific years, all through to probably 2010.
I see on your website it says that you played Glastonbury one year.
In 2007 and 8 with Chai Wallace.
I don't know Chai Wallace.
Oh, they're a sort of tent where they serve chai tea.
Oh, I see.
And have lots
Right.
of
Okay. I
jocks
came with you. Yeah. I thought it was a
and
band.
in those years, they were having almost exclusively acoustic music, which was absolutely great. And then they switched a few years later to a sort of more sort of gypsy dance bands, a little bit ska. I think you can imagine what I mean. Sort of more vibey. And I couldn't get a gig there anymore. But I had a good couple of years with them. And in 2007, we went to about 5 festivals, touring every other weekend. And I'd stay there, and they'd give me hot drinks, and usually a spaghetti bolognese or a Thai green curry once a day.
Excellent. So what do you have you really? I'm not sure. Fill me in on this. Have you released albums, or do you just write songs in a sort of continuous process?
Yes, I have. I released my 4th studio album last November.
Right. Where did you do
and
that?
They're all available to stream on Spotify or listen to on my Bandcamp.
Right. Well, I've got your website address there, so people.
I should have put my Oh, you put my website up because I was going to say to your viewers they just know me as Gideon. Well,
yes.
that's my that's my Zoom persona.
Oh, I see.
We're not on Zoom now. We're on StreamYard. That's what I put on Zoom, but it's not my artist name. But thank you. You put my website and there's a banner.
Okay, that's excellent. So, what are you going to play for us now?
I'm going to play a song from my new album. My last 2 albums, in fact, were mostly written on keyboard. And I haven't played much on the keyboard during lockdown because I focused on my painting. But
yeah, I've been following your paintings. Lovely stuff.
Thank you. But I did arrange one of the songs from my new album for guitar because it just felt like an absolute must. And it also just fitted comfortably without trying to sort of reinvent the wheel, if you know what I mean.
Without forcing it.
So I'm going to play for you a song about a lot of my favorite musical influences, and it's called The Master. The Master, #1 hot, like the burning sun. Every generation has one who feels the music like none before was ever done before. And that's what makes them the master, the #1 hot, like the burning sun. Every generation has one who feels the music like none before was ever done before. And that's what makes them the master, the #1 hot. Every new generation on the scene says, hey, we're the greatest there has ever been. But there's a long way to go before you reach that status. Time is a leveler, time is what makes you. Time separates the few from the many. Will your music endure? Will it be listened to for centuries? If it's meant to be, then the people will agree. You're giving them something that sets them free. If you have something special that resonates, if you have something meaningful to communicate, if you have a presence that never goes away, then you're considered one of the greats. If you can change the way people think about music, if you can influence the way they write, sing or move to it, then you have the level of master, #1 worldwide music ambassador, the master, #1 hot, like the burning sun. Every generation has one who feels the music like none before was ever done before. And that's what makes them the master, the #1 hot, like the burning sun. Every generation has one who feels the music like none before was ever done before. And that's what makes them the master, the #1 hot. Beethoven, #1 Duke Ellington, #1 Count Basie, #1 Stevie Wonder, #1 Bob Marley, #1 Fela Kuti, #1 Tchaikovsky, #1 Wolfgang Amadeus was #1 Elvis, #1 Otis, #1 Aretha, #1 Missy Elliott, #1 Michael Jackson, #1 Amy Winehouse, #1 Tupac, #1 James Brown. If you can change the way people think about music, if you can influence the way they write, sing, or move to it, then you have achieved the level of master, #1 worldwide music ambassador, the master, #1 hot, like the burning sun. Every generation has one who feels the music like none before was ever done before. And that's what makes them the master, the #1 hot, like the burning sun. Every generation has one who feels the music like none before was ever done before. And that's what makes them the master, the #1 hot, hot, hot. Beethoven, #1 Beethoven, #1 Beethoven, #1 Beethoven, #1 Beethoven, #1 Beethoven, #1 Beethoven, #1.
Excellent. Brilliant. When you record, have you recorded just with you and guitar, or you and keyboards, or do you do it as a full band?
I had a band years ago from 2005 to 2012. My last 2 albums were me with my producer. So what I would do for those last 2 albums, being Gideon and Hip Hop Original, the way I did it was I made a demo on my phone with my keyboard using a loop pedal with drum sounds, organ, a little bit of guitar, and then I would record that through my phone and send my producer an MP4, just like a 20-second clip. And then when I come into the studio a few days later, he'd tracked out the drums for me and then sort of just improved my idea. And then I put the instruments and vocals on top. And we just became really quite slick at that process, and we'd smash the songs out sort of 1 per afternoon, on a sort of one a week
Cool.
basis.
Yeah. Who's your producer?
John Hughes
Oh,
of
I know that now.
Navigation Road.
Yeah, I know that name. Yeah, brilliant. So,
Where do you live, Rowland?
I live in Cheadle.
Oh, Cheadle. Oh, he lives in Cheadle now.
All
When we
right,
recorded, he lived in Navigation Road, but now he's moved to Cheadle.
right. It's yeah, I feel like I really am living in Cheadle at the moment. I don't think I've been out of Cheadle for whatever it is, 12 weeks now. Um, what about you? How does it tie in with your songwriting and your art? I have to say, I love the yellow tubes painting.
Oh, thank you very much. The
That's
pipes. Yes, I
the
posted that a
pipes.
couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago.
that's
Yeah, it was an old
gorgeous.
painting one, but I was actually got it. I got it out because I was gonna paint over it because I'd run out of canvases. And
Shock
Jenny,
horror.
my fiance, said, "No, you should definitely not paint over that one." And it got snapped up the next day. So when I posted it,
It's got
so
a
yeah,
beautiful
check it
feel.
out.
It's got a feel. There's I can't think what his name is, but there's a really very successful British artist who does drawings in quite a similar way, in the sense that they're quite sort of
I wonder
defined.
if you mean Julian Opie.
No, no,
No, not Opie. Okay.
it's he's got. I'm sure he's got a double-barreled name. He's a member of the Royal Academy and all sorts of stuff, and he does things which are quite defined in the same way that your tubes are.
Yeah,
So I,
with a bold outline.
exactly, yeah, I love that
I
style.
do love
It's
a
really,
bold outline.
I absolutely, I'll go for that. Yeah, and also the repeated pattern one that you posted today. That's nice too. Or
Oh, thank very much.
yeah, cool. But do you do you think about the two things as being totally separate, or do you think your art is related to your visual art related to your music?
It's related because it's a whole life, and none is quite separate.
Hmm.
So even if I'm not gigging for months, which obviously that's the case,
Yeah,
I listen to music while I'm painting, unless there's test match cricket on, and
which there's no
you
there's
know
much cricket either.
well, there is now. Yes,
Is
no, it's
there?
back
Oh,
on front. It's back.
all
It's
right,
been back for a couple of weeks. Yeah, so I switched from Radio 3 to Test Match Special,
right,
but
okay.
mostly I like classical music while I'm
Hmm.
painting, and then it comes in waves. So for my last album, I just sort of got on a roll, and the music took over after I
Hmm.
hadn't written a song for 3 years. It
All
just
right.
just came. I think with songwriting, I think all songwriters will acknowledge that it's a mystery and you can work at it,
Hmm.
but there's no real defining of how you get there
Hmm.
exactly, or where you get a good song from, as opposed to a bit of old dross.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
but,
there's two areas for it for me, because if you go back to, say, the look at the 60s and the 50s, there were lots of places like the Brill Building in New York, where people sat in a little cubicle day after day and just wrote songs. People like
oh,
Carole
you mean like
King.
Tim Panally?
Yeah, yeah. The sort of the Brill Building was Carole King and all that crew, who's none of
But
their names
Bacharach,
come.
was he there?
No, Baccarat was somewhere else. Baccarat was a sort of he came from a more sort of orchestral background, I think. But certainly Neil Sedaka and people like that were involved in it, and John Sebastian from the
I've got a
Whiskey
soft
Company.
spot for Neil.
Yeah,
Neil was very upset when the Beatles arrived in America, I
yes,
heard.
yeah, I understand. Well, the thing is, I mean, up until that point, the singers and the songwriters were two different groups of people. Sinatra never wrote songs. Presley
No,
didn't write any songs, as far as I know. He may have put his
no,
name
he
to
didn't.
some of them.
He didn't. He wasn't a songwriter. He
He
viewed
put his
himself
name.
as a soul man.
Yeah, exactly. And the performer and the writer were quite different. There's a book called A What Bop a Loo Bop a Lot Bam Boom, and the guy Nick Cohn who wrote it, he says that the Beatles were the worst thing to happen to pop music, in the sense that up until that point, songwriters just sat in a room and wrote songs, and after that, suddenly the Beatles were doing stuff which was meant to be taken seriously. I think he's been pretty tongue in cheek about it myself, but I think it's quite an
I
interesting
think I've
idea.
got that book, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, it's not easy reading to be. It's Nick Cohn, isn't it? Is it the same
I
Nick?
don't know because I haven't read it.
Is it the same Nick Cohn that wrote the screenplay for Saturday Night Fever? That's what I've often wondered because it's a fairly
I'm
unusual
not
name.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll check.
our surnames are similar, but he's got an H.
Yeah. Well, Con is a brand of trumpet, isn't it? I think
About a brand of what?
trumpet. Con.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, you're right. Yeah,
You see, I'm called Rowland. And I've got lots of things named after me, but they're not spelt correctly.
not spelled
So
as a different spelling. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
the new album then. What else? Do you want to play something else with the new album?
Well, no, I can't. I'll explain to you. It's all on
Oh, because
keyboard, which
it's
is,
all keyboard. Okay, then play
and
us one of your
frankly, I
gold.
haven't practiced. I'd have to dust it off and practice. For these Zoom gigs, sorry,
Yeah.
we're not on Zoom. I keep offending
Yeah.
StreamYard, but they won't mind. They won't know.
No,
Um,
they won't know.
I just favour sitting here with a guitar because you can get nice and close,
Yeah.
and it just seems to work better. So I think I'll dust off my keyboard for my new album material. When the time is right to go out again and do an
Yeah.
extended live set. But for now, I'm playing old favourites on the guitar predominantly.
Great. Well, give
Would
us another.
Would you
Give
like
us.
another?
I'd love another one. Yeah, I would.
Thank you. Gosh, I hadn't selected anything. I'm going to play for you Inside. It's the last track from my debut album, New Bop Sounds.
Oh, I love this one.
Bah humbug is what you say to young love when you're old and tired and the system turned against you. Things are no longer meant for you and you're looking for a way out, higher climbs. But you were young once, looking back with a sigh at opportunities lost. Now there maybe isn't time, baby, no one wants to see your smile anymore. 74 years and 3 days since you were born. Live your life through your children, some people say, but I doubt they'd be happy with that at any rate. It's me who has still got something to sing, and it's me who has still got dreams and ambitions, and it's me who, even though in time will fade away, would like to be remembered for the part I played in stimulating others to appreciate yourselves. In that way you make my day, and this world then seems a pretty attractive place. Today's a good day to reevaluate, and I'm not looking at what I've lost, but what I've gained. From the benefits of youth to the benefits of age. Ba-dip bum bow boom, ba-daffle baffle bow. When I look around, I know that you're there for me. I can see that you're there with me, inside, inside. When things calm a little down, I know that you're there for me. Yeah, you'll always be there with me, inside, inside. Ba-dip bum bow boom, ba-dap bap bow. And when things calm a little down, I know that you're there for me. And you'll always be there with me, inside, inside. Put your feet back on the ground and say how you really feel. And you know what you mean to me, inside, inside.
Lovely. That's really nice. I love that
Thank
song.
you.
You do quite a lot of sort of scat singing and the horn solo in that. Um, where does that come from? Is anything? Is there any
That
influence in
comes from
there?
my love of jazz. So when I'm writing songs, particularly in the early years, 2003
Mm,
to eight, I just wanted, I really wanted that brass sound. And eventually
mm.
I found JJ Lees to play on cornet, which we did together for
Right. Oh,
many years
lovely.
before he moved to Sweden to study
Mm.
bird speaks.
It's. I tell you what it reminds. If you're a jazz fan, do you know the Mills Brothers?
I
Yeah.
don't know the Mills Brothers.
Right.
I looked
Mills.
them up.
Right. Check it out. You'll love it. It's Mills Brothers was a band that was recording in the 30s, 20s and 30s, and they were billed as four men and a guitar, four boys and a guitar, and one used to play guitar, and the others used to sing all the instruments in like jazz arrangements of things like I find a new baby and things like that. I got rhythm, all those sort of jazz standards, but it's all sung like you do the horn solo, and it's brilliant. And the amazing thing was, it was done at a time when recording was basic. I've seen films of them actually recording, and they're standing in a room, the four of them in a line, and there's this great big horn sticking through the wall, and they're singing into the horn, and it's being cut onto a wax disc in the back room. It's amazing stuff, but you'd love it if you're into that, because it's really that sound. You do it well. I like the tremolo on the horn as well.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
It's more a necessity for me than
Yeah,
because the song doesn't exist without that melody line.
yeah,
So it's really out of necessity rather than that's what I particularly want to hear.
yeah. If you
If
could
you
have a
see what I
full
mean.
band day, you'd have it.
Well, I'd have JJ every time. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he just plays. His notes are so pure.
I think it's one of the things for me. Um, I must be careful what I say here. I'm not a big fan of sax players, but trumpet players.
Sorry, I'm not hearing all that
Oh, you're
clearly.
not.
What
Sorry,
are you not such a big
I
fan
said
of?
I'm not. I mean, if it comes to sort of jazz players, I'm more fond of trumpet players. I'm a big fan of Chet Baker, who for me was like
I
a
like
great,
Chet.
yeah, brilliant
I like
stuff. And
I like I like I like all great musicians. I mean, if somebody's got it, it doesn't really matter what instrument they're on. You just feel it, don't you? You just feel that,
absolutely,
you feel that sort of that just the talent just sort of just lifts you when you're
yeah.
listening.
The
It just
vibe with
absolutely,
Chet Baker is just amazing. I think if
yeah, I
it's
like Chet.
if it was a desert island disc choice for me, I think they always asked what would be your one album. Well, for me, it would be Chet Baker Sings, which I still think is one of the best things ever
I
recorded.
like his Autumn in New York. It's very
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. Everything he did. The one I always like is his version of Funny Valentine, where he only, the whole thing, he only goes through the chord sequence twice. He sings it all the way through, does half a verse solo, and then sings the final half. And when you compare that to sort of some of the soloists you see that go on for 25 minutes playing the same chord sequence, it's just the simplicity of how Chet does it. I think is marvelous.
Yeah, Chet keeps it quite simple, doesn't he? He's
Absolutely,
very
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
I like I mean, he's a great personality as well. He's I just like sort of he had a lot of famous wives, didn't he?
Yes, he was notorious for that. Yeah,
Was
a
it
friend of
Lana
mine,
Turner?
friend of mine, actually toured with him in
Wow.
Italy in the 70s, and he said it was crazy because the one thing he used to say that on the night, and it was a quartet, and the friend Tony Mann was a drummer he was based in Manchester, but he's no longer up here, and he said the thing was that Chet would start a song off in the key he wanted to sing it in, and he wouldn't tell the rest of the band. He'd do the intro, and the bass player and the keyboard player had to kind of, oh, hang on, what's that, and dive for it.
They
So
didn't. They didn't mind. They can play in any. They can play in
absolutely,
any.
but it's better to know beforehand. Usually, I feel, but
Well, musicians are fussy like that, but
At the end of the day, they made it work. But yes,
They,
apparently
they, it's what they enjoy actually. They like having a drink in the bar afterwards and complaining
and
about
moaning about the
how he
singer.
started in a different key or how he didn't count them in. They have a joke about it as well. I think they rather that than a dull life. Most musicians,
Oh, I think
most.
definitely. Yes, I'll go with that. So, what are you going to do from next for us?
I'm going to play one more, and then I'm actually really hungry, Roland. So it's going to be time for me to sign off after that. Um,
That's fine, man. That's fine.
what shall I play for you? Have you got any requests, Double M? I put you on. Take it all.
Yeah.
Play Take It All.
Okay. Fantastic.
Turn around to the sound as the waves hit the ground. Either way, either or. Play it safe. Take it all. Carve your name into stone. Place it where you call your home. Either way, either or. Play it safe. Take it all. Sign of life. Sign of the times. Sign away your faithful mind. Either way, either or. Play it safe. Take it all. 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 Either way, either or. Play it safe. Take it all. Bing bang bing bing boom bang bing boom bang bing boom boom bing bang bong bang boom boom. The people we admire the most were good at what they did because they knew they could. Drive and determination sets them apart. When they do what they do it with heart. A mighty inspiration to us with their advances in whatever field of human study their work enhances. History remembers them. They break with the boundaries, scale the walls. But every one of us can have a moment to shine. Achieve the unexpected in a moment sublime. Sensing opportunities and chasing them down. Strengthening communities and showing them how to improve people's lives in a meaningful way. It's happening all over the world today. For we are the leaders of the world unite. And we did it because we knew it was right. You got to be a hero. 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 You got to be a hero because we are the leaders of the world unite. And we did it because we knew it was right. You got to be a hero. 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 You got to be a hero because we are the leaders of the world unite. And we did it because we knew it was right. Boom. The people we admire the most were good at what they did because they knew they could. Drive and determination sets them apart. And when they do what they do it with heart. A mighty inspiration to us with their advances in whatever field of human study their work enhances. History remembers them all because they break away the boundaries and scale the walls. But every one of us can have a moment to shine, achieve the unexpected in a moment sublime, sensing opportunities and chasing them down, strengthening communities and showing them how to improve people's lives in a meaningful way. It's happening all over the world today, for we are the leaders of the world unite, and we did it because we knew it was right. You got to be a hero. 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 You got to be a hero because we are the leaders of the world unite, and we did it because we knew it was right. Boom, pop, pop, down, pop, down, pop, down. Boom, put up, do, bip, pop, down, pop, down, pop, down. Boom, put up, do, bip, pop, down, pop, down, pop, down, pop, down, pop, bum, bing, bam, bing, bum, bing, boom, bam, bing, bum, bum, bing, bam, bum, bing, boom, bam, bum, bagga, boing, boing.
Wonderful. Great. Gideon, thank you ever so much. It's been a
Thank you.
real
It's been really nice chatting to you, Rowland.
absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. Well, have a good have a good meal, have a good evening, and see you
Thank
again
you,
soon.
and have a very nice, happy wedding anniversary to you.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. great. The amazing Gideon Conn there. I don't know how to follow that, to be honest. Fantastic stuff. What was I going to say? There was something else. I'm doing something quite interesting this week. Some of you might be interested. Mr. Fusky, if he's listening, that he might be interested. I'm doing a spot for the South Italy Blues Connection Festival on Friday, which means they'll be interviewing me in Italian. Which will be good fun because my Italian's a little bit rusty at the moment, having not been there for a year. So yeah, that'll be cool. And it's a great festival. It's just amazing. The last time I went, it was in a place called Matera, which is an amazing city where the entire place is kind of built into the rocks. And it's a very, very old city. And there was a flu epidemic sometime in the 40s or the 50s, I think, which wiped out the entire population. And it was just deserted. People, who was left, literally. And then I think it was in the early 60s, people started to repopulate it. And it's one of the many, many UNESCO sites in Italy. And it's absolutely stunning. And we drove down to play there 3 years ago, I think it was. And we'd got to the place, and you're driving through these really, really narrow streets, and you're breathing in to get through them. And we found our hotel, which is right down in the bottom, and we went in, and we were sleeping in a cave, basically, because the houses look like normal houses on the outside, and you go inside and you realise that all the rooms are round, and it was absolutely beautiful. And so we came out and we thought, right, we've got to get to where the main stage is. So we walked to where the main stage was, which took us about 10 minutes. And we watched the proceedings there. We had dinner with the crew, etc., etc., etc. And then we made our way home and got totally and utterly lost. And we only actually had to travel probably about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile. But because it's all these sort of tiny little streets and they're just going up and down and round and round, it took us an hour and 20 minutes to get back to where we were staying that night. Actually, the following day I was suggesting that we should maybe sort of run a piece of string out so we could sort of find our way back easily. But yeah, Matera is the most beautiful place. We've not been since then, unfortunately. But anyway, I'm doing an interview with them on Friday evening. So I've told you who's coming up next week. We've got, I think it's Robbie Vincent next week. I think I'll just check that. Yep, Robert Vincent, which will be interesting. A completely different take on songwriting again. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to finish off with another song for my missus, and this was something that I wrote when we just moved to Italy, and it was a Sunday, and we lived quite close to a lake, and we'd been out for an aperitivo before lunch. We were heading for home, and we were just walking along the lake, and it was like, oh, this is just, I can't believe how good this is. It's just the two of us there wandering along, and it just felt great. It just felt lovely. So I feel like on our anniversary I should play it. This is called How I Feel. Walking by the water, walking hand in hand, feels so very, very good. I just can't understand how doing nothing special, doing nothing at all, can make me smile and make me laugh. That's how I feel. That's how good I feel. That's how I feel. That's how good I feel. Fine food and the best champagne, or just watching TV. Exotic place or right at home, it all feels good to me. You and me make more than two, or maybe just a perfect one. Life is good and love is good, and laughing is so much fun. That's how I feel. That's how good I feel. That's how I feel. That's how good I feel. Minutes last forever, days disappear overnight. Year feels like nothing, but every minute feels right. 'Cause you bring out the best in me. With you I feel complete. Never ever realized the life could be so sweet. That's how I feel. That's how good I feel. That's how I feel. That's how good I feel. I feel so good. I feel so good. So good inside. I feel so good. Feel so good inside. That's how I feel. That's how good I feel. So thanks for dropping in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed Gideon's songs. And see you next week. Look after yourselves in the meantime. Stay safe and have fun. See you next week. Cheers.